What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna be watching horror films or short horror shorts. So let's get right into the video.
There used to be a pond about half a mile away from my old house that I would commonly go fishing in. It was nicknamed Daryl's Pond. I still have no idea who Daryl was or why it was called that, but nobody owned it, so people would once in a blue moon go fishing there as well. It was usually me by myself, though. I had dug a pole into the ground where I would tie a noose to and from my small kayak. I'd say it was about 3 in the afternoon when I rowed out to the middle of the pond, the sweet spot for getting a decent catch. There was another person coming out from the trees. I waved at him.
Yo, who was that? I know you already saw that. Wasn't that? I'm not, bro. Who was that though? I just saw him back in the corner.
He hopped into a small boat floating by the edge of the pond and began to row over to me. As he got close enough where trying to speak to him wouldn't come off as obnoxious, I gave him a friendly, "Good day, isn't it?" "Yes, absolutely," he said. He didn't say anything after that, and I started to feel a bit awkward, as if I were obligated to keep some kind of conversation rolling now. "So, you come out here to throw some lines?" I asked. "No, I don't actually fish." "Oh, well, it's never a bad day to relax on the pond," I said. He continued to row closer to me until his boat collided with mine, creating a big thud. I was genuinely uncomfortable now. I didn't feel threatened, just weirded out. I was only 24 years old. This guy looked like he was late 40s or 50s. There was an awkward silence. I tried to just act like I was...
Wait, they're together, so it's this whole pond, and you want to come next to me, sucker? You want to come right next to me? There's this whole pond, sucker, and you want to land right here, right next to me. That's basically saying, like, you know how you go in the bathroom, right? And there's like all these stalls you walk into, and like sections, and like you go in a deep corner, and one sucker just goes right next to you, and then you use the bathroom right next to you. That's basically what that dude's basically saying. That's what I'm basically saying, like, bro.
Focused on trying to make a catch, but by now that wasn't even on my mind. This guy was weird. I didn't know what he wanted, and I was uncomfortable being so close to him. I felt him looking at me, or at least in my direction, as I faced halfway to the opposite direction of him. I took a quick glance to my right. Yeah, he was staring at me. I decided to be ballsy and lock eye contact with him. After about 4 seconds, he looked away. "So, where are you from?" I asked him. "Up there." He pointed behind himself in the direction of the
That's
woods
not
and
where you're
hill
from.
next
He's
to
asking
the
me
road.
what are you
"Live
from?
by
Like
Suffolk?"
Florida,
I
whatever.
asked. No, I'm not," he said. "What made you decide to come out here?" I said. "Why not?" I continued to try and uncomfortably fill the awkward silences that kept coming up. His responses were dry. He didn't contribute anything to what was barely a conversation. He just sat there not doing anything with half a smile on his face, looking either at me or in my general direction throughout. I was creeped out. My heart was racing at this point. I'd go as far as saying that I was nervous for my life. We were surrounded by trees in all directions in the middle of the pond. I started to row a bit closer to land, but in a very low-key kind of way, trying to play it off as me just trying to find a better spot to find some fish. I was horrified when I saw he was following me. "What a great day, huh?"
Hey, sucker, you pull the line. Want to keep coming closer over here? I'm finna pull you in this water and drown you.
I felt a shake in my voice. I got close enough to the edge of the pond where I finally told the man, "I think I'm going to call it a day." I turned to see his reaction. He was still staring at me, but his smile was gone now. "I can't let you leave," he said.
What do you mean, like, you
He
can't let
lifted
me
his
leave?
flannel to expose a handgun sticking out of his jeans pocket. As soon as I could process what I was looking at, I dove out of the boat for land, ran the whole half-mile uphill through the woods back to my house, and locked every door and window as soon as I made it home. I pulled down the blinds to the dining room window, leaving it open just a crack for peeking outside undetected. It started to get dark out, and I left every light in the house off, still peeking out to the front yard, making sure I wasn't followed. The time came when I finally decided I wasn't followed. I realize now, like you, that not calling the police immediately was a huge mistake.
That is one of the biggest
I kept my bedroom
mistakes.
windows open to let the room air out. My bedroom was on the second floor, so I wasn't worried about being watched through the window. About half an hour after shutting the light and falling under the covers, I heard the sound of leaves crunching from outside. I sat up to hear it more clearly. It was definitely something walking around out there. Normally I would assume it was a deer or a bear, but after what just happened, I was still in paranoia mode. I sat up as still as a statue, except for my shaking out of fear, waiting as the sounds of the steps stopped. Hey buddy, you up there? Are you trying to sleep?
No way he just said that. No way he found him like that. Hey buddy. Imagine I wake up, like, let me say that happened to me, right? Just trying to go on a boat and this weird dude's there and he gets a gun and pulls it on me. I run back to the house and I wake up and I hear, "Hey buddy, was you sleeping? Oh, sorry if I woke you up." Like, that would be so scary. Like, that would have been so scary if that happened.
Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. I felt like 100 pounds just fell directly onto my chest. It was the same voice. I knew it right away. I didn't make a sound. I crept out of the room, quietly downstairs to the kitchen, and grabbed the phone, practically crawling on my way out to avoid being seen through the open blinds. I called 911 like I should have earlier in the temporary safety of my bedroom. I made sure to whisper into the phone, as I was still hoping that he hadn't yet heard or spotted me. 20 minutes felt like an hour as I sat behind my bed, waiting for the police to arrive in constant fear that I would hear glass breaking from downstairs, or a thud on the back door, or even just the voice again from down below my window outside. The police did a thorough investigation of the property in nearby woods, turning up nothing. They suggested I stay with a friend or a family member for a few days, and so I did. I never heard from or saw the man again, but I still moved a month later. I couldn't deal with the constant fear and paranoia of being watched through my windows. I feel much more comfortable fishing out by the bay now.
Yeah, what was that? Wait, go back. I want to see that again.
Being watched through my windows. I feel much more comfortable fishing out by the bay now.
I know y'all saw that, but what was that though? Okay, that was part one, or that was not part one, but that was a interesting video, horror short, or story animation, horror stories animation. That was interesting, because, like, let me say, like, that happened in your life. Like, you go down a boat, like, you're trying to fish, and some weird guy comes, and, like, it's kind of really, really weird, and trying to make a conversation, just looks in your direction all the time, smiling at you, doing some weird things, knocks you over the boat, and he said, and you try to go over and try to go the other way to fish, comes over there still, and he said, "I'm gonna go," and then you say, "I'm gonna go home," and he says, "I can't let you go home," brings out a gun. But then the scary part, though, he goes back home, right? And this is what you hear when you wake up. "Hey, buddy. Are you there? Oh, sorry, I don't mean to wake you." Like, that would be so scary, but animation part, or animation, we're gonna watch another animation. That was kind of good. Okay, we're gonna watch animation part 2.
Just follow me on PrizePicks.
Well, after this ad, I want to talk to y'all. Hey guys, how is y'all day going? That's good. That happened? You slipped and hit your head. Then your grandma died. What? Oh, the ad's over. You can be tripping. You can be doing that. You can be saying that. You scared me for a second. I'm glad you're joking.
I was out doing a delivery one late night. It was probably the longest drive I had ever taken for a pizza delivery. From the pizza place I worked at, it was a 20-minute drive, which isn't too crazy out where I live. Plus, they ordered 4 large pies, so I figured it was a party and I would get a much bigger tip. Navigating the dirt roads at night was always annoying, though. I pulled up to the given address. It was some old, sketchy-looking building, literally in the middle of a forest clearing. There were no cars parked anywhere, or any lights on. I put my car in park and called my boss. I asked him to reread the address at least 3 times to make sure I typed it in right, but that checked out. I could tell he was in a really bitchy mood, and he told me to at least knock on the door and check it out. He would normally get mad if we took back 1 pie, but I was afraid of what he would do if I brought back 4. I was insanely unnerved, but got out anyway and forced myself to the front door of the building. There was no doorbell, so I just knocked really hard. I heard nothing and didn't really expect to hear anything.
Is anyone going to answer the
I
door?
was extremely disappointed. Not because nobody answered the door, but because I was realizing that it was all a waste of time and gas. I knocked 1 more time out of desperation, and then began to hear some kind of rustling noises from inside of the building. I knocked again and yelled that I was the pizza guy. There was silence now. I felt a bit more uncomfortable now than before. But before I could turn around, I noticed something at the window. There was someone looking through the window.
Oh!
I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. All I noticed were their eyes.
That's scary.
Their eyes were open wider than I knew possible, staring intently at me. I was disturbed enough by this and dropped the pizzas and ran back.
That's scary, not gonna lie. Imagine you're a police guy, or no, a pizza guy delivering to someone's house, and you're knocking on the door for like 5 minutes. Then you look outside the window, then you see 2 big white eyes looking at you. That would be so scary.
Back to my car. The shitty thing wouldn't start until turning the key for the 3rd time. I drove off the grass and back onto the dirt road.
Yeah, go back home. That's the best choice to do.
About, shaking and bumping. Something wasn't right. I didn't make it far from the building before I started hearing a sharp scraping sound coming from outside. There was so much resistance that I couldn't even drive. The car came to a stop. I got out of the car.
No, don't tell me his car broke down. After that, seeing eyes at the window and... No, that's so bad. He's probably gonna die.
A chill ran up my spine as I began to feel like my heart was constantly skipping beats. My tires had been slashed.
No!
Falling off the rim. Not just the front, though. All 4 tires were slashed.
All 4 tires?
I realized somebody did this when I was knocking on the door to that building. Instead of running, I got back in the car and locked the doors. I was so close to that building, I could practically see it from where I was, if it weren't for the trees blocking the view. I dialed 911 and explained everything to the operator. She told me the cops would be over as soon as possible and that I need to stay hidden. I asked her if it was advisable to stay in the car or run, and she told me it would be best to stay in the car with the door locked. She asked me to stay on the line with her until the cops arrived. My whole body was shaking. In all directions, there was nothing but dark, seemingly endless forest. I knew it would take forever for the cops to get there. I was not comfortable with sitting in that car so close to whoever did this. The next part, though, is what utterly destroyed me. It still shakes me to this day, and I hope nobody ever has to experience this kind of fear. As I was scanning all the windows, making sure nobody was outside, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was the same person. The same person I saw at that window. Eyes open wider than ever.
No!
I could see now.
Oh!
It was a woman. And I could ever so slightly begin to see
Ugh, look at that. Ugh. Ah, no. Ugh, that is so scary. And ugly. Imagine seeing that. Let me say, like, that happens to you, right? It's like, I am not staying in that car. I am running. That's the best choice to do. Run. Police guy you see got pizza guy. You deliver to them, you see eyes in the window, then your car breaks down. Then you look in your mirror, then you see this. What is that? I'm running away.
I opened my door and full on sprinted into
Exactly, thank you for doing that.
I ran until I was out of breath, which didn't take long, and I hid behind a giant log on the ground. I tried to cover my loud breathing with my hand as I waited and waited for what felt like hours until I finally heard sirens in the distance. I gathered up all the stamina I had left to run all the way back in the direction of the dirt road. Eventually, the glowing red and blue lights came into view, and I had never felt better in my life. They were parked in front of my car, investigating with flashlights. I came out yelling at them like a lunatic to help me. I fell to the floor and started to gag, almost throwing up from running so much. They picked me up and began to question me, to which I explained everything to the best of my ability. One of the two cars drove over to the building, and the two officers began to search the building.
And there's gonna be nobody in there.
They came back with nothing
Told
except
you.
for a couple of spiky objects. These objects were exactly the same as the ones used to slash my tires. The cops guessed that it was some kind of sick, demented couple, being that I saw the woman, but unfortunately they were never found. And that still kills me to this day.
Yeah, that's scary, yeah.
I obviously quit my job right after that and started working at a local grocery store. I know that I'll never forget seeing that woman at the back of my car.
Ah, when you just see her right there. Oh my god.
Do you know Hobby Lobby has hundreds of
Hobby Lobby.
on sale
Not sponsored.
The last thing I saw was my alarm clock flashing.
You guys watch this and I'll end the video.
Before she pushed her long, rotting nails through my chest,
Oh!
muffling my screams. I sat bolt upright, relieved it was only a dream, but as I saw my alarm clock read 12:06, I heard my closet door creak open.
And he's dead.
Growing up with cats and dogs, I got used to the sound of scratching at my door while I slept.
No, it's
Now
not a
that I
dog.
live alone, it's much more unsettling.
Yeah, now you're dead.
I begin tucking him into bed and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." I look underneath for his amusement and see him. Another him under the bed.
Another one?
Me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed."
Oh yeah, you're dead. I'm sorry.
I always thought my cat had a staring problem. She always seemed fixated on my face. Until one day when I realized that she was always looking just behind me.
Nah. Merry Christmas, everybody. So guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. Hope you like the 3 horror shorts or 3 horror animations. Hope y'all like it. So see y'all in the next video.